If they would fix these things, I do think it could make Vane special, like best in genre special here.
Huh?
Hello, Meatsims. I'm here today to talk about my very first impressions of Vane, the game scaring its way up the Steam charts this Halloween week. Post-apocalyptic survival, kill zombies, explore abandoned buildings, build a base, rebuild society. On paper, yeah, I'm in. Honestly, first boot in, it looked amazing, as it should for a game in Unreal Engine, of course. You can pretty much touch and interact with everything, and it instantly gave me that new toy feeling for about 5 minutes or so. My buddy Das and I went in blind on this game. No wikis, no guides, just 2 brain cells and a dream. I don't want to kill you, man. Yeah, I do. Who am I kidding? Fuck you. We did all the survival stuff you usually try to do. You know, loot a bit, smack some zombies, drive some cars, try and build a little. The longer we played, the more I realized this ocean is about 4 inches deep. The zombies exist, technically, but they're nowhere near scary. They come at you with all the urgency of an NPC on an escort mission. The runners do pop up once in a while, and they're kinda scary, but zombies are mostly just background noise. When there's no danger, there's no tension. And when there's no tension, there's no reason to push deeper. And that's problem number 1. Movement also feels kind of stuck and clunky. Running is like in molasses nearly if you're carrying anything, and jumping is awkward and almost non-functional. Like a dream where you're trying to run and your legs just won't. That's kind of what moving in Vane is like right now. Menus are functional, but they're a bit clunky and obtuse. Nothing's unplayable here, it's just kind of off. Early access generally means weirdness, and of course I do expect it. My favorite moment thus far in the game, in the first house, in the first spawn, right away a zombie was trying to break down the door near me, and when it finally did and it locked eyes with me, it just kind of poofed and vanished. He broke my door. That's not nice. The co-op was shockingly pretty fine for us. I did host my own private server, though, with just the 2 of us. What I did affect Das, and what he did affect me. Driving, looting, building, all pretty much seemed synced pretty well, which makes me think the bugs aren't super in the netcode. There's a lot in the zombies. Also, combat. This is one of the core issues for me. You swing, and you're never quite sure if you're hitting anything. The zombie hitboxes are totally unintuitive, and it's got that kind of old DayZ feeling from about 12 years ago, where I kept expecting my axe swing to like make a gunshot sound instead of, an axe swing. There's no weight to the combat at all, and there's never like a, oh shit, no, this might be it kind of moment.
Easy, bro.
In a survival game, that's kind of the whole point for me. Without a threat, I'm not really surviving, I'm just kind of shopping. Plunger.
Ooh, duct tape.
With which to stick straight up your ass. And that gets old pretty quick. Once I realized I could handle every zombie half asleep, the tension pretty much evaporated. And with that, so did my interest in any of the deeper systems. I want to dig into building and crafting and medical and farming and the whole 4 X's of, expanding, exploring, exploiting, external, whatever they are. But if nothing can take away everything from me, then why build toward anything? And that's kind of where my motivations fell off a cliff. Vehicles are the bright spot, and they were actually pretty damn fun, honestly. They were pretty responsive most of the time, though. Overall, the vehicles did seem to work pretty well. I do love the idea of attaching a trailer up to an RV and just living the nomad tiny house lifestyle, running around and gathering and looting and building off of the RV, but, for what at this point? Running over zombies is satisfying. Excuse us. Some people have no manners. Until you quickly remember they weren't really scary on foot either. Co-op, as I said, did hold up for us, but again, 2 players isn't much on my server for stress test. Public servers might turn from, pretty smooth into laggy rodeo pretty freaking fast, I don't know. Some people I've seen have complained that the netcode's not great with this game. Whoa, I fell out of the back. But look, credit where credit is due here. It is a tiny dev team with apparently no publisher. They have day jobs and they're kind of, bootstrapped. So they did put out a free demo that I did try right now. You have the availability to try it too, thankfully. They are not sponsoring this or anything. I'm just literally just making a video for the Meatsims, right? So you just let me know if you like this. And anyways, if you do pay anything at the moment for the game, it's basically just to support the devs, not because this is like a daily driver at any stretch of the means. But the plan they're talking about is long term. Bigger map, 14 by 14 kilometers when it's feature complete, apparently, which it's only, I think, 4 by 4 at the moment. They say NPCs, raiders, trading, settlements, lore, and quests that may span out across in-game years, better art, better animations, hopefully, weapons, zombies definitely need a lot of work. Textures are okay, they're pretty kind of bland, and they could definitely be upgraded a bit. Stronger base defenses, apparently, but we didn't really get into the base building that much because, as I said, it was kind of hard to get into the game once I found out there was no threat. But basically, they plan to turn all the, mood and the systems into a full world with things to do and reasons to care. But right now, what they have is a character creation system that's, it's okay. They have RPG stats, kind of leveling systems. The multiplayer does work. And combat exists. But they definitely are going to need some DLC in that direction. Looting, farming, crafting, cooking, base building, a simulated power grid, and water system, which is really cool. That's something that I like as a current Rust player, an addict to Rust's power system. The early access map apparently sits around, 4 by 4 kilometers, and they have 4 towns that are supposed to expand over time. The demo that you can play for free is 2 small towns and a level cap, but it keeps getting updates alongside the main base game as well, apparently. They say early access will run until it's feature complete, whatever that means. Think years, apparently, here, not months. And the price will rise as the game grows. They're active with the community, apparently, in their Discords, YouTube comments, in-game feedback, emails, the whole thing, apparently. And if you like watching a project evolve and want the opportunity to nudge it in a direction that's favorable to you, apparently they're listening. So here's where I land. Vane has real potential, big potential even. The world is immersive, and the systems are aiming pretty dang high. 2 devs are trying to make Zomboid meets like Rust meets DayZ meets like a Left 4 Dead kind of thing. You can see the vision if you, look real good. But right now it is buried under a few things in my opinion. There is combat, but combat with no bite. There are zombies, but zombies with no teeth. And there is a loop that doesn't really feel like it rewards any kind of risk because there isn't any real risk. So the loop almost doesn't even seem to exist. If they fix a few of the things though, like if they make zombies an actual threat, they tighten the hitboxes a little bit, give feedback kind of on the combat, maybe give me some real stakes to work towards. I like collecting and building bases and being attacked and having to defend it and all that, but there doesn't feel like any reason to do that yet. If they would fix these things, I do think it could make Vane special, like best in genre special here. Am I done with it? Not permanently, no, absolutely not. I will be watching updates. I mean, I am the idiot high admiral with over $1,500 in real money spent in Star Citizen. I have quite a toxic history of giving people my money because they can cut a good promo. So when and if I do hear that the combat's gotten tightened a little bit and if the dead actually want me dead, I will try to jump back in and give it a proper go again. Until then, Vane does feel like a beautiful tech demo framework with a very good-looking but very ambitious roadmap. It wants to be a survival game, but it kind of forgot the survival part. If your experience was wildly different, tell me. Maybe I'm the real monster here. Should you call me Jerry? That's not my name. And if you're new around these here parts, welcome, Meatsims. Subscribe for more game lore, reviews, playthroughs, and collecting. I do a lot of that stuff. Till next time, catch you on the flip.